you should be tending your sheep, but you're sending more questions and they're asking why. 'Cause you're the boy who cried, ooh. You're the boy who cried, ooh.
Tony, that was your song, The Boy That Cried Wolf. Can you just talk us through that song, your inspiration behind it, and what's it all about?
Yeah, so The Boy Who Cried Wolf, it was kind of based on just an idea of how life is just, there's so much things going on, and you've got to just be truthful and just speak your own truth, really, basically. There's a songwriting challenge I was doing online during lockdown, and it would take certain themes and quotes, and you just have to kind of build around that, and I've kind of worked that into then the whole speaking your truth.
Amazing. So you mentioned the pandemic and really getting into music through the pandemic and really taking that time to put a lot of effort into your music. Talk us through the pandemic for you and your experiences, particularly in regards to music.
So yeah, initially, so I play music pretty much 5 nights a week around London, and when we got the call to say that we had to go into lockdown, I decided that even though I wasn't able to play live out there, I decided to go online and do every day at 1 o'clock, an hour's worth of just covers on Facebook, just trying to just helping connect people and to keep myself sane, really. And it was really good. Lots of people tuned in every day, and we just did loads of music and had lots of fun.
And how did it work then on Facebook? Did people put requests in, or how did you compose or create your shows on Facebook?
Yeah, so I would put up a post saying we're going to have this particular theme, and then people would tune in, and literally within the comments I would just see this song, and I'd pick out the ones that I think would work best in the scenario. Yeah, it was super fun.
I've even dubbed the HumanJukebox after all of this.
Yeah.
And is that because of all these requests and you just reacting to them and thinking, oh, okay, I'll do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes it super fun. So now when I'm doing it live, it means that I'm not doing the same 40 or 50 songs every night. It means every single night is different. Obviously people ask for the same songs quite a lot, but I generally made a rule that only one band per night. So if somebody wants to choose an Oasis song, they better choose a good one, because otherwise, there's so many different options that you could go for.
So it's quite unique. It's almost like the audience are dictating your shows.
Yeah.
What do they usually choose? I know you said that I hope they choose a good one. What's good and what's bad, in your opinion?
Well, I guess it's not about being good or bad. It's about keeping it different and interesting, because somebody will ask for the obvious 2 or 3 Oasis songs, but I know about 50 Oasis songs. You know, choose anything else, and it makes it more interesting for me and more interesting for them, because they could hear anybody singing those songs.
What are your fave covers to do?
Oh, I like doing something that I didn't realise that I knew. Something that's maybe from 20 years ago that I heard on the radio. A good example is Shakespeare's Sister, that kind of one-hit wonder from 20, maybe even 30 years ago, that somebody asked for on a Friday night. And I was looking around the room going, are you sure, guys? And then played it, and everyone went nuts. So it's perfect.
So you're sort of learning new things along the way as well. So we know that you do a lot of covers, but you're also doing a lot of original music too.
Yep.
Can you talk us through your original music and how it differs from playing or expressing yourself through covers?
Yeah, well, I think because I play so many different covers, when it came to writing my album, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, almost every song seemed to be in a different genre. So it was difficult to start with, to think about how it was going to work. But I figured in the end, it is me playing, so therefore they do kind of like connect with each other. But it's, yeah.
Sounds great. Talk us through some other songs within that album then.
Yeah, so one that was really kind of bluesy inspired is a song called Agree to Disagree. And that's literally about having an argument, but not being entirely sure what we're arguing about. So you're trying to work out what it is and get to the end of the argument and going, okay, so we can have 2 different opinions on something. That doesn't mean we're wrong. It just means that they have different ways of looking at things.
It's really interesting. It feels like you're navigating through lots of life issues through your music. It sounds like you're doing really well, but we know for a lot of musicians, the journey hasn't been so easy, let's say. I've got some stats here, actually. We know that 30% of UK musicians are experiencing poor mental health. You mentioned a lot of your music came from the pandemic, and that was a particularly challenging time for a lot of musicians out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I found the hardest thing about the pandemic was just not interacting with other people. So it's kind of almost like lonely, but the whole Facebook thing, doing those live streams, was a great way of connecting with other people. I know loads of musicians who, there was the whole, your next job could be in cyber thing, and lots of people went and got jobs as delivery drivers and things like that. But I just decided to focus in on music, writing, and that connecting people through the Facebook thing.
Yeah, definitely interesting to hear. You mentioned that a lot of musicians left the industry. Here, 42% are still thinking about leaving the industry. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's a notoriously hard industry anyway, because particularly with things like TikTok and things like that, people going viral seems to be the thing now, and seems to be less focused on actual music. So that can be difficult. So there's some serious musicians who've been focusing on just being musicians for their whole career are suddenly having to work out how to use the algorithm to their favor when that isn't necessarily to do with the music at all.
Yeah, totally. So talk us through what is next for you. What's on the agenda this year? So this year I've got, I'm going to Glastonbury, which is really cool, and I've been talking to a couple of bars about playing. I'm not on one of the main stages, but I have previously been playing, say, on the Thursday night before the whole thing kicks off, and as soon as everyone arrives, they are ready to party, basically. So the Thursday night gigs that I've done there have been pretty legendary. That sounds really, really exciting. So Glastonbury next. And are you still continuing to use the QR system that you kind of created during the pandemic? Is that still something that you do?
Yeah, well, we all had to learn how to use the QR codes during as we came out for the Eat Out to Help Out and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I have QR code when I'm playing, and that's how people send me their requests live, like in the moment. So, yeah, it's super fun.